Hey guys, how's it going? So I got the green grapes out of the refrigerator. So these ones are from the USA, presumably from somewhere like California. Um, Let me get it open. So yeah, so it's 500 grams. This is how much? Quite a bit, I think. Yeah, so what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so recently I've been having an issue with my iPhone camera's microphone sound being like doing all this buzzing stuff. I think it's to do with like trying to cancel out background noise and things. I think that I've fixed it, but I'm just going to do the whole video and then see how it turns out. And if it's not good, I'll put some music to try and like reduce the awful buzzing sound. But yeah, so this video is going up whether it's fixed or not, and then yeah, we'll see how it goes. So if this isn't very good sound quality, then you can let me know, like give it a thumbs down or leave a comment or something, so that I know you didn't appreciate the sound stuff going on. So these are seedless grapes. It says they're premium seedless grapes, so I don't know if they actually mean that it's like grade 1 grapes, because like at the veggie shop you'll have what's called tag 1 products, which are like top of the line, visually perfect representations of the ideal fruit. Then you have tag 2, which aren't necessarily bad quality, but they might not look as nice, like they might be a little bit deformed or something. And I think we just have the 2 tags, tag 1, tag 2. I don't know if there's a tag 3, but so often tag 2 products will be a lot less expensive because they're not like an image of the perfect fruit, but they might taste just as good, they might taste better, you know. You just never know, but it's predominantly to do with how they look, which can be some like discoloration of the skin. It could even be the size, like we had tag 2 capsicums in, and they were tagged 2 because they were like quite small, so you couldn't sell them for the same price as the tag 1 ones, because the tag 1s would be like quite a bit bigger. So nobody's going to buy a small capsicum for the same price as a large capsicum. So we had a sale on capsicums. I think it was like $1 per capsicum, or it might have been something like 80 cents or something. And some people would come in and they would say, oh, you know, it's a really good price, but they're really small. But I mean, that's kind of, you know, it's kind of the point. One thing that I did notice, and I don't know if it's to do with the capsicums or if it's to do with like some sort of GMO thing, like they designed the capsicums that way, is that when I did buy the small ones, they didn't have like a core with all the seeds, so it was really easy to cut up and everything. And at the time I was just like, oh, it's just because of the size. But now that I'm telling you guys that, I was thinking maybe the bigger ones are like that as well, and it's just something that you know, they've been genetically modified so that they don't have that inner core anymore. These grapes are really good. So these were 70 cents because they were 69 cents. So, and then I get 7 cents off because I get a 10% discount. So that brought it down to 60 cents for me because, you know, since New Zealand doesn't have 5 cents anymore, you round it down. We didn't have a buy limit on these, like we did with the strawberries, when the strawberries were $1 a punnet. Is that how much they were? Yeah. So some people bought like 10 at a time. The most that I sold, I think, was 14 or 15. But we had enough so that we only actually sold out, I think it was an hour before closing, which I thought was really good. Because then if we had put a limit on, like 5 per customer, no, we would have probably done something like 3 per customer. Then we probably would have had some left over at the end of the day. And then we probably wouldn't be able to do the sale the next day because we wouldn't have enough stock to be able to say, you know, we've got this sale running all day. Because it's not running all day if you don't have the stock all day. So when we sold out of all the green grapes, we then had these red grapes, which I know were from California. And I tried one of those. They weren't very nice. Because where I grew up, the house that my parents owned, it had quite a big backyard, and we had like apple trees, a plum, oh no, is it a plum? No, not a plum, but those fuzzy red, like peach-like fruit, but they're not peaches because they're fuzzy and they're like purple on the inside. You like eat them and it's like you're dripping blood. Anyway, we had one of those trees. And we had red currants. We had pears, gooseberry bushes. Oh, we had a kiwi fruit bush, well, vine. And then we also had a red grapevine, which like ran all the way across one of the fences. So we got red grapes. I don't know if they came in every year. Like I feel like some years they didn't come through very well. But yeah, so I guess I'd be like comparing the red grapes at the store to the ones that we had growing up. I just felt like there was something a little bit off tasting about the ones in the shop. Like maybe I mean it could be like a chemical spray, or it could just be like the actual flavour on the inside. I'm not sure. And that's kind of like the problem with fruit, is that if it tastes funny, you don't really know if it's because the fruit's just not as great, or if it's because they'll put something on the fruit. And then you don't know if you're going to get sick or not. I mean, I don't think it really happens that much in New Zealand. But like in Sweden, actually, they had apples you can buy in the supermarket. But like they were disgusting. Honestly, like even because my boyfriend and I, we only bought the ones that were grown in Sweden, and they weren't like very good, like, because in New Zealand the apples are so beautiful, but the ones that were grown in Sweden, you know, they weren't that great. And then like all the apples, they had like this really thick waxy coat on them, and then like, so just because I wanted to like get my vitamins and everything, then I would occasionally eat an apple, and like for most of the apple I would just be like, because there was like this really tangy, chemically taste to them, and then it would only be like once I got rid of all the skin that I could eat the middle part, and it would be like okay, even though it's not a delicious apple in the first place. So it wasn't that great all around. But man, oh, so disgusting. Couldn't believe it. So yeah, my boyfriend at the time, Alex, he was telling me about how his brother, he can't eat like apples in Sweden because of all, you know, the junk that they've got on the outside. And I guess like I couldn't really imagine it. I mean, like, I believed him, but because in New Zealand people talk about, you know, sprays and things and like wash your fruit and everything, and even though I would wash the apples, they were still disgusting like that. But it wasn't until I got to Sweden that I really experienced how awful the, you know, the stuff that they're putting on the fruit is, because like the fruit in New Zealand probably isn't being affected in the same way. Or possibly like to a lesser extent. I don't really know, but yeah, I definitely hadn't experienced the fruit like that until I got to Sweden, and now I'm like, wow, that's disgusting. How could anybody eat that? How could they give it to their children? I don't know. But at the same time, you know, you got to give them fresh fruit and vegetables. So if you can't find, you know, untainted fruit, then what are you supposed to give them? Like I said, you can wash them and everything, but you know, it still doesn't get rid of it all. And you know, so Alex's brother, who would have a reaction to it, even though he could wash it and everything, it's still gonna play up with him. I've never been like a big fan of kiwi fruit, which is kind of funny that I bought that 5.5 kilo bag of them. But yeah, because like we had a kiwi fruit vine in our backyard, but nobody really ate them because we just weren't like big kiwi fruit people. I think that the main thing is that, first of all, they're really fuzzy, so you're handling them and it's an unpleasant texture. For somebody like myself, I hate like all that fuzziness. And then secondly, you're eating it and like it always hurts. Well, when I was younger, it would always hurt the side of my mouth and make it really red and irritated for like days. And like the taste of kiwi fruit, I think I've only really started to appreciate it more now. But I guess the cool thing about having fruit in your backyard is that even if you don't eat it, I mean, you could always invite people to come and pick it for themselves. And if you don't do that, still birds and things are going to come along and eat it. So you're going to have like a lot of nice wildlife in your backyard. So that's always a positive. Up until I was about 7 or 8, we had these 3 really big apple trees, and they were cooking apple trees. I'm like, I don't know if that's the technical name for the apples, but they were seriously like these big apples. Like, I'm serious, like that big. Some of them were. And like the taste was quite sour actually, but I always loved apples when I was a kid, so even though it was probably like not a taste that a lot of other people would go for, these specific apples, you know, I quite like them. So sometimes I'd take, you know, one of those ginormous apples to school, and I probably couldn't eat it all. I think I did, but like, oh man, so crazy. Just how big they were, and like, they would fill you up so much. But yeah, so we had 3 of those trees, and like, there's no way you could use up all those apples. Maybe if we had like a cannery going on, we might have been able to. But yeah. But that was really cool. Mum got a dry, what do they call it? I don't know, but like a fruit dryer. So we would dry bits and bobs. The best thing was drying apricots. Well, the ones that we did and the way that we dried it, they didn't have the pulp, so they were like really dry, and like the flavour was so concentrated, and they were so delicious. Like, take me back to those times, because that was amazing. That should definitely be something that I would do, like, if I ever get to own my own house, and you know, be able to buy sort of machines that you can't really take around with you when you're shifting places all the time, because if you bought every little machine or gizmo that you wanted, you would need a big moving truck every single time. I still have so many goats to go, but I'm really full now, so I think I'm gonna stop. It's been like 16 minutes, so it's gonna be a long video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and that you guys ate whatever you wanted. I know that like healthy eating videos aren't necessarily everybody's thing, and to be honest, I wasn't even really thinking that these were all that healthy, but I mean, I guess they are. But you know, like, when I think about fruit and everything, I always think, like, you know, even though it's natural sugar and everything, it's still heaps of sugar, and you know, it's hard to get out of those sort of like negative thinking cycles. But anyway, so if you guys you're not really into the whole eating fruit thing, that's alright. You know, I am going to try and do more other ones. It's just that, you know, I'm going to be leaving New Zealand soon, and like, New Zealand is a wonderful place to buy fruit and vegetables in season and everything. You can get some really good deals. But you know, hopefully there's still bits and bobs that you guys like on my channel, and if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and make sure that you come back next time for my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Hey door.